Augusta. You're watching News 12 live at 5.
A group of prosecutors are calling for change concerning who has influence over which judges serve on South Carolina's benches. But first, the GBI has identified human remains that were found in a dumpster in Jenkins County all the way back in 1988. Our Hallie Turner has been following this case. And Hallie, what else did you find out about this case?
Well, when investigators found a body in a dumpster north of Millen in 1988, they had no idea 35 years later, technology and DNA testing would lead them to a name and the family of a victim almost 100 miles away. On Valentine's Day of 1988, the Jenkins County Sheriff's Office called in the GBI when they discovered a body. The body was wrapped in plastic and duct tape inside of a large suitcase tossed in a dumpster, like I said earlier, north of Millen. They say the victim had been dead almost 7 days and suffocated. But Jenkins County tells me from what they knew, the body does not have any ties to Millen. But through fingerprints, dental records, and more, investigators compared the remains to the missing person cases from around the country. Recently, a GBI forensics artist crafted a sketch of what the victim could have looked like. Along with advancements in DNA technology, they were able to jump on investigative leads to bring them to Kim's family this year. Now, coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll tell you how this new DNA technology is playing a major role in cold cases.
Technology, a huge factor in a lot of these cases. We know a lot of families in Georgia still waiting for closure in so many cold cases. We appreciate that update, Hallie. Switching gears to weather now as we give you a live look outside over Clarks Hill Dam here. Riley, just a gorgeous afternoon if you're going to go outside here.
Absolutely. Well, beautiful day to be outside. It was a little bit chilly out there early this morning. We did see the mid-40s at Bushfield, but take a look at these temperatures over the last couple of hours. Low 70s out there, so no complaints. And once we got past the lunch hour, and we're looking to hang on to actually really nice weather all week long for us. You can see generally blue skies over our Aiken County camp here, and Aiken County temps currently at 71 degrees. Just a few passing high-level clouds. Those will go away by the time we get to late tonight. So we are going to have really good conditions to see clear, calm, cooling, and should be able to see another cold start early Tuesday. We have high pressure over the East Coast, so this is going to keep us high and dry for the next several days, and not really much rain even in that long-term outlook for us. So if you are stepping out this evening, comfortable temps in the upper 60s at least the next hour or so. We'll drop off into the 50s pretty quick, though, once that sun goes away. So any plans after sunset, definitely have the jacket. Here's a look at other temperatures across the region. We got temps 75 in Evans, 74 up at the lake, 68 in Saluda is one of those cooler locations. One thing to keep in mind, since we've seen a lot of sun today, that is going to warm up our urban environment, and that is going to keep us most likely a little bit warmer heading into tomorrow morning. So Bushfield will be cooler than Daniel Field, but still needing that jacket for the first part of the day. Much more on this forecast in just a bit. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a live look at I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway, and luckily, not much traffic out there. So if you are crossing over the state line, not going to be impacted too much. Going out to Grovetown next, we'll look at exit 190. Lewiston Road's been a little bit busy earlier this afternoon, but it looks like the overpass has cleared up a little bit. But you're definitely going to notice that line of traffic if you're getting off of that exit. We got blue skies overhead at the moment. We are expecting a few more clouds later into the week. We'll see if that brings us a chance for rain coming up in that full forecast.
All right, thanks, Riley. One woman is recovering in the hospital after being shot over the weekend. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to a home on Wrdw Drive just before 1 p.m. When they arrived at the scene, they found the victim with a gunshot wound. She was later taken to the hospital for treatment. At this time, no suspect has been named, but we'll continue to follow this story and keep you updated as we learn more. A group of prosecutors are calling for a drastic change concerning who has influence over which judges serve on South Carolina's benches. 9 solicitors say it's needed to restore public confidence in the state's judicial selection process. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
South Carolina is one of 2 states where the legislature elects judges. But first, judicial candidates have to appear before a screening panel. Now, a group of elected prosecutors is saying that lawmakers, who are also lawyers, should not be allowed to serve on this panel, as some currently do. 9 solicitors are calling for this change. In this letter they sent Monday to the Speaker of the House and the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who's also a lawyer and sits on the screening panel. Right now, this 10-member committee called the Judicial Merit Selection Commission, or JMSC, screens judicial candidates. They determine who's qualified and select up to 3 candidates for each seat from which the entire General Assembly picks. 6 JMSC members are legislators, and they're also typically lawyers, while the other 4 members are appointed citizens. The solicitors are now calling for those 6 lawyer legislators to immediately be removed from the JMSC and be replaced with lawmakers who have other jobs. They write this would go a long way toward improving the judicial selection process and restoring public confidence in our judiciary. The solicitors pointedly call out one JMSC member by name, House Democratic leader Todd Rutherford. They write Rutherford has been central to a number of recent scandals that have eroded public confidence in our state's judiciary and have created an appearance of undue influence derived from the considerable power granted by his role in the JMSC. Like his representation of a convicted murderer who was secretly granted an early release from prison this year, which Rutherford helped coordinate with a since-retired judge. Rutherford denies any impropriety.
If they would like for the Speaker of the House to take me off of judicial merit selection, they should at least show where I've done something wrong. They cannot.
And in 2 weeks, the JMSC will meet here to start screening judicial candidates in what's expected to be a closely scrutinized process. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
And Representative Micah Caskey, who chairs the JMSC and is also a lawyer, says he hopes these solicitors will fully participate in the judicial selection process, and he says their testimony would be helpful for a new House committee studying judicial reform. Well, Speak Up South Carolina is the motto being used in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The goal behind the motto is to break what experts are calling a vicious cycle for victims in the state. Recent data shows domestic violence is a widespread epidemic that has lasted for decades.
This is something that is happening all around us. We need people who are willing to speak up and speak out.
South Carolina ranked in the top 10 for 23 of those 25 years. And even in the 2 years where we didn't rank in the top 10, we were still above the national average.
And domestic violence situations not only impact the victims directly, but can create collateral victims as well, like children, law enforcement, employers, friends, and even co-workers. Well, it's that time of year again. Registration for the James Brown Turkey Giveaway is next Saturday, November 4th. Registration will take place over at the James Brown Arena from 9 to 11. And just remember to bring with you a valid state ID and current power bill or lease agreement. And if you are unable to attend next week, you can do this again on November 11th. Well, Georgia's beer laws are facing some backlash, while small breweries say they are being backed into a corner and are calling for a new push for policy change. That's coming up next. Riley?
Well, we do have clear skies today and looking at very comfortable temperatures for the rest of the week. Look at that full forecast coming up.
One of the nation's largest single-day regattas is coming here to Augusta with hundreds of boats filling up the river here, but rowers expected to stay out of the boathouse here. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're checking in with the Augusta Rowing Club as well as Central Services to see where the progress is on finding the rowing club a new home.
Time and temp. Brought
Truck in the front yard.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
The First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster. Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Welcome back, folks. A beautiful day. A live look at our Thurman Dam cam, and you can just see it's pretty much like glass on Clarksville Lake this afternoon, so not much wind out there. A few of these high-level clouds have filtered through, which is actually made for some pretty cool sun optics today. We've had a couple of pictures taken of sun dogs. So remember, these high-level clouds are actually made of tiny ice crystals, so when the sun shines through them, it forms that little rainbow, what we call the sun dog. So we've seen a couple of those. Beautiful day, though. We're at 73 degrees. We got dew points very dry all the way down to 40, and that's where our overnight lows should start to work their way down to as we get towards daybreak tomorrow. So if you are heading out this evening, even though it feels comfortable and warm at the moment, as soon as that sun goes away, temperatures are going to drop pretty quick. So it is going to be chilly out there for the rest of this evening and to tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, if you live away from the city, I think you got a good bet of hitting low temps down here 40 degrees right around daybreak. Another beautiful afternoon though tomorrow. Lots of sunshine throughout the day and not too much of a wind either. Looks like that east-northeast wind should stay generally less than 10 miles miles an hour most of the day. So no weather complaints out there. We're looking to hang on to plenty of sunshine, and temperatures don't really just start to tick up a few degrees warmer each afternoon once we get past Tuesday. So Wednesday, those high temps should be in the upper 70s, and you can see our morning temps will still be in the 40s, but it'll be the upper 40s instead of the low 40s. So that would just kind of be the general trend we see over the next couple of days. We have high pressure on top of us, so this is sinking air, which is why our skies are generally sunny. We're seeing that just east-northeast wind kind of on the southern extent of that high pressure, but all that active weather is going to stay west of us the rest of the week. We are expecting dry conditions all the way through this weekend. Our morning temperatures will start to get a little bit more mild, though. We'll get our way into the mid-50s Thursday through Saturday morning, and then high temperatures actually look to warm up a good bit for us. So we're only seeing highs near 70 this afternoon. Once we see this big upper level ridge form over the eastern U.S., that is going to bring us some high temps, most likely in the low 80s to finish off the week and this weekend. So starting to get a little bit warmer for us. That's really the only change happening in our weather pattern over the next 5 days. So not much rain out there and great weather to get outside. So if you are heading out to the lake out there, the only thing is if you're going to be up early at the lake, it's going to be chilly out there. Temps will be near 40 by daybreak tomorrow, but if you're waiting out to the afternoon, sunny skies Tuesday, Wednesday with high temperatures, very comfortable in the low and mid 70s, and it looks like wind's not going to be too much of a factor for you. Generally out of the east-northeast, staying between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Once we get past the weekend, early next week, so that doesn't quite extend all the way out to Halloween just yet, but we are staying dry the next 7 days. Once we get to that 8 to 10 day stretch, there possibly could be a cold front that shows up by the middle of next week. So we're keeping an eye on that, but until then, enjoy some beautiful conditions across the area.
All right, thanks, Riley. Several small breweries across the Peach State say they are struggling to stay afloat. But now a public petition is pushing lawmakers to loosen restrictions on how they sell beer. Amanda Rose spoke with people on both sides of the argument.
Cheers.
Spencer Nix just celebrated 10 years as the CEO and co-founder of Reformation Brewery. He's thankful for his success, but remembers how difficult it was to start from scratch, faced with what he calls Georgia's antiquated distribution laws.
Are there other makers of products that are having to limit how they run their business and who they can sell to and who their consumer is?
If we don't update our state laws and our restrictive system for small breweries, we're not giving them a fighting chance.
Joseph Cortez with the Georgia Craft Brewers Guild has been pushing lawmakers for years to loosen restrictions on how breweries can sell their products. Right now, Cortez tells me there are 36 states that allow breweries to self-distribute their products. That's not the case in Georgia. Current Georgia law limits breweries to selling their product on their property directly to customers. To sell it somewhere else, it has to go through a distributor, something Cortez says isn't profitable for smaller breweries.
On average, the immediate markup for that product before it even gets to a retailer, before it even gets to a consumer, is 30%.
The Georgia Beer Wholesalers Association sent us a statement saying in part, efforts to change distribution laws will, quote, weaken a system that offers safeguards for our youth, provides more than 5,000 jobs statewide, ensures a consistent revenue stream to state and local government, and most importantly, guarantees thousands of choices of good beer on store shelves at bars and in local breweries.
Well, sports memorabilia collectors have been complaining about a trading card company after waiting years for products to be delivered. Next, tips from the BBB on how to avoid a similar situation.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
I'm Mike Hostel. Free sofa is on sale.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Real people,
Real problems, real life solutions. Investigate TV Plus.
Well, this summer, the Better Business Bureau issued another alert after receiving complaints about a sports card trading company not giving collectors their merchandise. Consumer investigator Carice Jackman spoke with collectors still waiting on valuable trading cards and gets advice from experts about what you can do to avoid a similar situation.
If there's one thing John Filbert loves, it's sports.
My first autograph card was a 1987 Topps Ken Schramm card, and it started just a love for the hobby.
His hobby evolved into collecting sports merchandise, specifically portraits and cards. That's how he heard about Panini America, a sports trading card company. But over the past few months, Filbert had trouble with his cards marked redemption, which basically act as an IOU for delayed autographed items.
And I have a current redemption card of one of my Houston Astros, Abraham Toro, and I redeemed that in December of 20, filled out the redemption, and it has yet to be fulfilled.
Rafal Rosowski experienced the same thing, not once or even twice.
I do have 31 outstanding redemptions going all the way back to 2017/18 that have not been fulfilled.
Rosowski says it's about more than money. He feels like his collection is incomplete. Both men say they've tried reaching out to Panini.
I've sent them countless of emails and little to no response.
We just wanted to let everybody know, urge caution when you're working with this company.
Better Business Bureau spokesperson Melanie McGovern's heard from numerous collectors.
We're getting complaints from consumers that they're not getting merchandise or they're not getting goods and services that were promised. Reached out to the company and said, hey, we have all of these consumer complaints. We need you to respond.
So far, the BBB's received complaints from collectors in 46 states, as well as 3 Canadian provinces. Most complaints centered around customers purchasing multi-card packs that contain redemptions for high-value player cards, cards that were never delivered. Disputed amounts range from $100 to $20,000, with an average loss reported to the BBB of $1,700.
There's a lot of emotional ties to sports teams, cities, players, things like that. We also know there's a dollar value with sports teams and players and cards and memorabilia. You're losing an investment and you're losing a part of, something that is close to you.
We reached out to Panini America for a response and never heard back. The BBB says the company has since responded to their original inquiry, as well as some unanswered complaints. If you're collecting sports cards, the BBB says do your homework. Check with your local BBB to see if there are a pattern of complaints against the business. And if you've had issues, report them.
I hope that, this shakes some things up and, and Panini takes ownership of what they're doing and start getting some of these cards out.
Carice Jackman on your side.
In recent weeks, Panini has been responding to dozens of complaints, offering various solutions, including giving reward points and sending limited edition card packs. Well, some college students in Southern California have built what they think may be the homes, or the future of homes, rather. We'll explain that coming up next, Riley.
Well, we just got the update for our fall color around the region, and it is showing low fall color across most of the CSRA thanks to these cooler nights we've seen. We are looking a little bit warmer for the rest of the week. We'll have that 7-day forecast just after the break.
1 hour.
This just in, the South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash where a pedestrian was hit in Orangeburg County. It happened at around 11:30 this morning on US 301 near Weber Farm Road. Highway Patrol says a pickup was driving on 301 when it hit a person standing on the side of the road. That person died on the scene. The coroner's office has not released the name of that victim. A live look now at the U.S. Capitol as House Republicans are still on the hunt for a new Speaker of the House. They're expected to hold a candidate forum tonight and look for someone to succeed Representative Kevin McCarthy, who was ousted earlier this month. Until a new speaker is voted in, the House is stuck in a stalemate. It's been 20 days and counting since Representative Kevin McCarthy was kicked out as Speaker of the House. Jim Jordan of Ohio exited the race for Speaker Friday after 3 failed bids. So until they get that handled, that means no legislation can pass, like policy bills and government funding bills. Some Republicans and some Democrats have suggested boosting interim Speaker Patrick McHenry's power in order to break the impasse, but there is widespread opposition within the GOP confidence to that idea. Okay, take a look at your screen here. This home, designed by students at Woodbury University in Burbank, was built with a giant 3D printer loaded with concrete. It took 15 months from design to finish, but the concrete pouring only took 3 days for these students. Now, they entered it into the Solar Decathlon, which is a college competition for structures powered by renewable energy. Now, this house has solar panels and uses recirculated shower water to flush the toilets. The school says it only took a little more than $250,000 to build. I will take one of those right now. That sounds like a great idea.
Just a little price tag on it, but I mean, very cool. I mean, you think it's renewable. It's a good, sturdy, safe, storm-ready house as well. I imagine made of concrete.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than just a few 2x4s. So,
and this is something that's
cool.
this is something that's definitely been developing more and more. These 3D printed houses. It's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, and it's really cool to watch those 3D printers just kind of work, how they're just kind of going back and forth laying concrete. You kind of see how they were just kind of building those layers. But hey, pretty cool shot of our Thurman Dam cam out there today. We got a good shot of the waxing gibbous moon. So the full moon for October is actually going to happen later this week. So our moon rises are going to start getting closer to sunset for us. But a beautiful look out there this afternoon. We do have clear skies, and that will hang around for the rest of tonight. Take a look at our fall color tracker across the region. We are starting to see better color here from our Dahlonega cam at the University of North Georgia campus just around Lake Lanier, and definitely from our Greenville picture right here, definitely noticing those fall colors in the upstate. Now, temperature-wise, it's been cool lately, but we got some warmer temps in the 80s heading our way this week, and that should stick around through the weekend. Stick with us. We're going to have much more Live at 5 coming up just after a short break.